Hi, and welcome to the video, Forces in Space. What are the relationships among the objects in space? How do forces explain the structure and function of objects in space? Their common characteristics are shape and orbit. Their differences are size and composition. Why are the planets round? Why are all the planets round? Gravity. In a newly born sun, or the Earth, or in any object anywhere, gravity pulls from the center on all of the outer surfaces. Material the same distance from the center of an object is pulled with the same force, so you end up with an object in the shape of a ball. Why are asteroids irregular shaped? The asteroids, mostly orbiting in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, are small rocky bodies tumbling through space. Because they don't have much mass, their gravity is weak, so most of their asteroids have irregular shapes. And we'll talk more about asteroids a little bit later. But there's a picture of one. Why are the planets closest to the sun made of heavier materials? Well, gravity and circular forces also explain why denser materials ended up closer to the sun. The lightest materials were flung farthest out into space. The gravity of the sun holds the denser material closest to it. So it's like it's easier to throw a lightweight ball further away from you than it is to throw a heavier ball. So the sun holds the heavier stuff closer because it's harder to get the heavier stuff out there. Why do planets stay in orbit around the sun? The answer is a balance in forces. The forward motion of the planet is balanced by the pull of gravity exerted on the sun. So the planets stay at approximately the same distance from the sun. Remember Isaac Newton? His idea was that forces exist throughout the universe, not just on Earth, made Newton's ideas revolutionary. His laws of motion explain why observations other scientists were correct. What did he say about forces in the universe? Well, Newton's first law. An object in motion tends to remain in motion in a straight line with a constant speed unless acted on by an outside force. An object at rest tends to remain at rest unless acted on by an outside force. So how does this relate to objects in space? The planets and other bodies in space are traveling in a straight line until acted on by gravity from another object, usually the sun. His third law of motion: for every action has an equal and opposite reaction. How does this relate to objects in space? The sun pulls on the planets with the same force at which the planets pull away from the sun. So here are your quiz questions. What force gives objects their shape? 2. What force keeps all planets in orbit? Number 3. What scientist helped prove that gravity exists throughout the universe? Number 4. How does Newton's first law relate to objects in space? Number 5. How does Newton's third law relate to objects in space? Make sure you've answered these questions. Go back and look for the answers if you don't know them. And I will see you guys in class. Have a great evening.